Okay, I'm going to try and repair this fuel pump. I'm just going to buff this up a little bit on the wire brush grinder. Alright, I'm just going to rinse this stuff in a tiny bit of what I call methyl hydrate, which you guys in the States call denatured alcohol. Just getting the soap off. It evaporates so fast that it's just worth doing. Yeah, carburetor, same thing. That came out really nice. Oh, it's tiny fire. Oh, I think we lost our big long jet. I gotta go get it. This is in the bottom of the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to just pour this back into here and let it settle out. It's getting pretty contaminated. Now I got to get this back together again. That goes in there like that. The T is that way. Now I'm just going to clean this up a little bit more. Do you think we're going to get fuel pumping? That'd be fun, huh? I think we will. It's a pretty simple thing, eh? Gasket sealer on here, because it's got a good gasket, but it's older than me. Not quite. But this engine could be 50 years old, eh? Let's find out if it works. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of gasket sealer and stick it on there. Super fine. And then we'll actually just turn the engine over with the battery and see what we got. Alright, you guys know me well enough. I gotta find out. Will it pull fuel up and squirt out there? I think everything else is out of the way. I've only finger tightened these. Well, finger with a screwdriver, a light tighten. But if it pumps, it should pump. It's not pumping. Maybe it's got to be primed. Anybody watching this nonsense? Okay, first we want to see some gas squirting right out of here. Fill her up a little bit. No, it's gonna... Okay, that happens quickly. Run! Beauty. So now it should suck out of here. Too bad. Okay. I'm going to order the fuel pump kit. That's all right. Now, the fuel pump kit's about $9. And it says it works for the K241, but it doesn't mention anything about the K241, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So now I'm going to just reassemble this carburetor quick, and we're going to see if we got a running engine. You might as well watch. Emulsion tube. Remember how hard that was to get out of there? Good. Main jet. I wrote it down. 2.5 turns. That's lots. That's too much, I think. Should be able to see it now. Yes. Half, 1, half, 2.5. Seems like a lot for a clean carburetor. Now, I did take this flapper out of here. Ooh. Eek, 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 eek. Oh, maybe we should finish the float. And bowl. Remember, this carburetor was leaking just a tiny bit. Okay. And then that should be it. Okay. Now we're going to install the throttle body, the throttle section. It's a long ways down there. Good. Now we're going to use a little tiny bit of Loctite on these babies. Sorry, you can't see in there. I just wanted to do this in the reverse order that they came out on. And the side jet. What was it at? 1.5? 1.5 turns. Doesn't matter, I'll be adjusting those anyway. Half. 1.5. Throttle body connector goes on there, and then we tighten the heck out of that. This has been fun. I've learned a lot. Oh, that's done, thank goodness. Okay, 2 carburetor screws onto the existing manifold. And that's her, baby. So I can turn you off. Just put the carburetor on. Okay, it seems to be running pretty good now. Watch this. Isn't that cool? I think it's leaking. I think it's leaking fuel. Son of a gun. So I never stopped that problem. So what do you do with that now, eh? Oh, hello my friends. Bruce here. Finally! I think I've got everything I need to get the K241, the Kohler 10 horsepower cast iron K241 running. The only thing I haven't ordered is a head gasket, because by the time I'm all finished, let's see, clean carburetor kit, fuel pump kit, all of the pieces and parts that my friend Steve found out at the farm, And this last little bit in the mail is what I've been waiting for. Two fuel pump kits for the Kohler. Now these fuel pump kits say they fit the Kohler 301, which is almost a twin to this one, but they say that the holes in the diaphragm are just a little further apart on this than they are on the pump itself. We'll find that out later. I'm not too worried about it. These weren't that expensive. Now, it was either this or the plastic fuel pump that bolts right in with the lever and everything that runs off the cam. And I can still do that if this doesn't work. This was a cost-effective try. And I still got them if they don't work for other purposes. And yes, so this is just a little small add to that video. Excuse me, my voice is gone. And thanks a lot. We'll see how they do. So I really I want everything on this engine to be right, and then I'll take the head off, clean the carbon out from underside the head, and if I have to order a head gasket, I will. This Kohler stuff's pretty expensive, so you have to watch yourself. Thanks a lot. And I'm back on the 10 horsepower Kohler. I'm going to try and make this fuel pump work today. Right now it's working because it's gravity fed from the tank. This is just a donor tank down through the fuel pump and up to the carburetor. So that's actually flowing via gravity, but I want it to actually pump. So I'm going to take it off. I've got diaphragms, and I'm going to try to change the diaphragm on it, and that's how it goes. So I guess you guys can watch, because it's a step-by-step procedure as usual. Here we go. You got enough light on that? Oh, there's a light back there that's not helping us. Huh. Well, let's just get a little light. Alright. Does that help? Yes, it does. Carburetor. We'll get these are going to leak a little bit of gas. Oh no. I got the gas turned off, so we'll take this one off first. It's really weird, eh? This fuel pump. The gas is brand new, but the first little bit always comes out yellow. Good. Now it's just 2 Phillips bolts to take that out of there. Now I did use a tiny bit of gasket sealer when I did this, so I thought it might work. You know, I still have not changed the oil yet in this engine, but we're still trying to make it perfectly operational. Come on. Come on, baby, light my fire. There it is. Let's take it over to the tray. The tray ball. Now, we need some studio lighting, i.e. drywall light. See, there's still yellow. It bothers me, right? There's still yellow coming out of there. And that's been cleaned 3 or 4 times. So something, it doesn't like something, right? Good. Gouda. Nice. Well, it's still... See, so the engine has a little cam in it, right? And that goes like that. But it's not pumping. So we'll take that off. This is good for anybody working on a Kohler fuel pump, right? And then this turns and twists inside there, like that, because it has a little T. Good. Now, a wire brush. I don't know which one. It's been cleaned once before, but it was really, really, really bad, eh? So what this does is this just goes in here like that, and it splashes back and forth, right? But the inlet is blocked a little bit more than the outlet, so if it doesn't need fuel, it just sits there and splashes. But if it takes fuel, the path of least resistance is down that hole. It's just so rudimentary, wonderfully, beautifully basic. Pardon me. Okay, fuel pump update. This was over top. Alright, this is like this. I didn't know the spring was there, but this was over top of the spring, but all corroded out, and it held the spring in so the gas coming in could flow and not flow back out. So I'll hold this down and see if I can do something here. See that? But this is what was holding the spring down. It's mangled, tortured, rotted, corroded. So now I'm just trying to see if I can come up with something that'll center and hold that spring down too. But that diaphragm has to pop up and down, right? I'll show you now. There's no diaphragm there. This goes in like that, right? Very simple. And then this little Duhammer spring sits on top of there with that little cage on the top. But that little cage is no longer part of our business. But I have some ideas. This won't work because it holds the valve down, but it's perfect size for the spring. This will work because it's just perfect size for the spring, for that spring to sit in. That's what I showed you before. So now all I really need is something to center that spring and hold it down. Okay, so this is what we've got. We'll put it together for you. Normally, this little soft, looks like leather, sits in there and stops the fuel from coming up when the pump is pumping inside here. So before there was this spring sitting on that. We'll get there. And then there was a mesh, kind of a holy mesh over top. So what I've done is I've come up with a bushing around it. That, I made this, by the way, this little. Okay, and then this fender washer is going to hold it all down there, and I might peen it in. I have no idea yet. But it can't stick up past that level there, right? So let's see if we can blow in first, and when I pull back, it should seal somewhat. That is going to work. Alright, continuing on the K241 fuel pump. I think I've got a solution for the spring and the seal. It's here. What we need is we need gas to flow it out around this washer that's going to hold it on. Originally, like I said earlier, it was a capped built-in thing, and I didn't even know this spring was in there. That little spring there, don't drop it! So now I'm going to tap into either side of that hole if you can see, there's a top and a bottom. I'm going to tap into that with a, what I think is a 632. Is that correct? Is that? Let's get a smaller drill bit. I don't know if it's deep enough to tap a hole, but we can tap a hole with JB weld. Yeah. Putting some weight on that bad boy. It's not biting. Springs there, the seal's under there, that's under there. Holy moly, that might, no. Are you guys watching? Yeah, you might be. So I have my little notch, that's where the screw is going to go. Right there and there. I think it goes on, no, it goes on, oh, just like that. I am curious. And I think it goes onto the machine like this. It's not sealing right or something. I'll be right back. Are you guys turned off yet? I mean literally. Okay, now I'm installing the new diaphragm. Got to get the old one out. So I'm going to take the old one out. If I have to, I'll show you how I drill these new holes, and that's easy. Okay, so the first problem I've noticed is that this one is a T and this one is an H, and the H is just a little narrower than the T, so I have to take this to the grinder or file or something. So I'll be right back. You're recording, that's good. Okay, so I got the T fixed. Right? Please. Here we go. So it's not going to fall out, right? But now, the 4 holes, because this is from the 310, not the 241, the holes are just off. So I'm going to drill those out. All it has to do is hold. So I'm just punching them out a little bigger. This hole punch has been fantastic. Let's just screw it together and see how it goes. So it's going to take some fiddling. I'll be back. I'm just putting the 4 screws on now. Ding, ding. Okay, I'm going to buy the plastic pump. But that was a valiant effort. Thanks, guys.